round, there's one question that we sort of left open, very practicalities of relocating. Are there any good tips for how do you arrive in Germany? How do you relocate? What should you look for? Maybe also the cost of living. There's some interest in that as well.
So when I moved here, as I said, for me it's a bit strange to explain this because I've moved so often. Every 4 or 5 years I tend to move ever since I was a kid. So I'm kind of used to having everything in a bag. But moving specifically to Germany, one of the things to prepare, as I said, mentioned, I would have loved if I spoke some basic German. But in terms of looking for apartments or so, it really helped being part of the graduate school because the administration office helped me with all of the paperwork, which was obviously in German to start with, all of the contracts, and also as soon as you were in the email system, every week they would give out advertisements for housing or so on, so you knew where to look and whether any apartments from previous students were available or not. So that's how I've currently found my housing, actually, the place I live in so far. So I think if I wasn't enrolled in a graduate school program, it would have been harder. So that the administration office really played a significant part in that.
Yeah, so I also think graduate schools give that support there, at least in also guiding what the experience is of the current PhD students. And in any case, I will reach out to the local community of people. And often Facebook is not a bad place to start to look if there is a group, if there are places. And what happens here is that there is actually also a mailing list, yeah, the community. So the students who leave also leave their rooms, and you can take it up from there. And as to the cost of living, I think in Munich is considered one of the most expensive places in Germany to live altogether. There are substantial differences in the costs of living between different parts of Germany. But that is a good question to also ask, people who are there. So how are you doing, Samira? You live in the most expensive city of Germany.
In terms of apartments, actually, it's expensive, yes, but compared to, for example, London or Paris, it's significantly cheaper for what you get. The quality is outstanding. It's not like living in. I mean, I remember being a student and living in student housing in the UK. It's all of. As students, we know that student housings are terrible, but that's not the case here. And yes, it's expensive, but as I said, compared to other big cities, it's actually not too bad at all for what you get. So, and with the salary that you get doing a PhD in Germany, even for Munich, it's more than enough to survive. So, I would say it's nothing to worry about financially.
Okay, that's great. I think